Hey, friends, don't just be willing to die for Jesus. What we've got to learn to do is to learn to live for him. We're going to read a little story in Mark 1:16 to 20. Read the whole chapter. But that was Jesus's call for the 12 that would follow him for the remainder of his life. He they had been following him part-time up to this point. They went to the wedding with him. Then he split to go, when he went to the Temptations, and he come back, and he stirred up a little bit of controversy, but he's going to go get them this time for real. And that's going to be the invitation. Come follow me. Here's what he says. Mark 1:16. As Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. At once they left their nets and followed him. When he'd gone a little farther, he saw James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John in a boat preparing their nets. Without delay, he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired men and followed him. See, Jesus' call for these people wasn't just go die for me. I mean, we think of that as being like the ultimate sacrifice. But his call was to come walk with me. And then when Jesus died, it was to go live for me. And that ultimately it ended up in death for these guys. But I guess it could be tomorrow. But for most of us, that's down the road. And yeah, we should be willing for that to be the case. But a much harder call is to, what are you going to do today? Are you going to live for him today? See, there's this book series that I like that I think that explains this really well. There's a certain type of soldier that's in it. It's the Wheel of Time books. But they have a saying amongst these people, the Shinaurans. And the saying is, death is lighter than a feather and duty is heavier than a mountain. And that describes what we're talking about perfectly today, because it's hard. It's hard to get up every day and to go love people that aren't kind to you. And I know I say things like that a lot. It's funny to me that sometimes they get accused of not being deep, theologically, because I talk about all these practical things that we ought to do. But the reason that I do that is because Jesus didn't really talk about the deep things, right? He said, let me tell you a story about a farmer. Let me tell you a story about 4 types of soil. And he was referencing different heart conditions that we might have. A hard heart, or, we're worried, or we're material, right? Jesus talked about how we practically live in this life. And he did that because it might not be as stimulating up here, but he was after people's hearts. He wasn't trying to make us smarter or try to make us understand more about God. He was trying to get us to go learn to treat people with kindness and decency. Even those people, right? Pray for your enemies and do good to them, right? Even the people that wouldn't do that for you. Jesus knew that's the way that we change the world. That's the way that we make this a better place. That's the way that we reverse the curse, back from, the beginning of Genesis. It's by us, people that are trying to follow Jesus, treating people that follow Jesus and those that don't follow Jesus the way that God intended for us to way back in the beginning. See, that's the call, right? Don't just go die for me. Learn to live for me today. Go be generous to people that wouldn't be generous to you. Go serve people that are already looking down on you, that wouldn't help you. Go love people that aren't lovely towards you. In fact, rather go love people that hate you. If someone tries to steal from you, give them your coat, right? Give them, they try to steal your coat, give them your shirt as well, right? That's what Jesus taught. Don't just go die for me. Go live for me today. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.